Diddy has been sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison for, I don't even want the P word, for the tuition. I'm going to call it the tuition so we can keep our monetization. P. Diddy, high profile case. Bro was accused of all types of sexual assault charges. And I know he was very scared because there was a chance that this guy was going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And he managed to avoid all that. But there was this one lingering charge that he actually got convicted of and was sentenced on today. Now, I am of the belief that if this was anyone other than Diddy, he would have walked off with probation, right? But because he's so high profile, I do believe there are people in the shadows who are working against Diddy for whatever reason, whether it's him like suing some alcohol company. There was many different things that could have played a role in what happened to him, but here we are. Sean Puffy Combs sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in federal prison. Now, I don't know if you get time served in the feds. I don't think so. But if you do, he was locked up for a while, so that should take some time off of his sentence. I'm not a career criminal. Maybe we could bring one of those hood boogers off of No Jumper, and they could give us the ins and outs of what it's like being on the inside, getting touched. Okay, but me, I don't know. Let's hope Diddy is able to arrange something, because they could sentence you. Diddy could send some hundreds of thousands to the judge, get the sentence suspended. There's a lot of things that can happen in this situation. Also, Diddy could reach out to our favorite president, Donald Trump, and see if Trump gonna shoot him some bail. I stole that phrase from Ricky, flip phone. You guys say flip phone's no good, but that guy be throwing out some good terms that I could grab onto and grab onto and utilize on this video. Man, I am using a VCR camera. Actually, I think this camera, it looks good to me on my end. I don't know how it looks to you, but it really doesn't matter. Shut up and use your ears. 85. Damn. What up, Sim Police Academy? My boy is back in the building. Hey, y'all, a lot of y'all are new here. You never met my boy Sim Police. You think no one on No Jumper has anything on Sim Police? That's who No Jumper should hire. He's a millionaire, so he doesn't need to work for No Jumper. But if No Jumper hires Sim Police Academy, it would be absolutely over. I don't care, Faux Extra, whoever y'all think is just wild and but actually intelligent, though. Not slow, like I didn't graduate from elementary school. Very highly intelligent business owner, you know what I'm saying? Family man. But this guy, I'm telling you, we are just going to say we're glad that dude is off the street and now he's on our side, okay? But let's get into some video about this Diddy situation. And I'm going to use Fox News. I know you Negroes have been told, we can't listen to Fox News by the white man. I get that. But what I appreciated about the Fox News take is they actually had 3 black men discussing Diddy's situation. They weren't like CNN where they have some freaking Rachel Maddow, some ambiguous gendered person discussing issues that they couldn't care less about. And casting a shadow of doubt on the innocence of Sean Puffy Combs.
I was on with Rosanna this morning and Kurt, and I said it's going to be somewhere, I said plus or minus 5. So it was on a little bit of the minus 5. I think this judge, he said almost exactly what we predicted him to say. I know you've done a lot of good things, but I also need to take the bad things you've done into consideration, and therefore, here's my sentence. The prosecutor asking for 11 years was way beyond the pale. Department of Probation said 7 years, and he undercut them. I will tell you, no matter what they say when they come out here, the defense attorneys, I hope they're not going to get mad at me for saying this. They're going to go and have a great meal tonight. They signed up for a case where a guy was facing life in prison, and now a 50-year-old man will probably get out at 52 to 53 years old, which is 4 years younger than I am. He'll have his whole life ahead of him. He's got tens of millions of dollars in the bank, and hopefully he'll make this horrible situation as productive as possible. He's already started teaching classes in college, in law in prison, and he'll make a positive impact on the young men, especially the men of our society, about what not to do when you achieve the level of success and fame and fortune that Sean Combs had achieved. And that obviously played a role in the judge's decision making.
So for perspective here, he's gotten more than 4 years, and we understand he was only convicted of 2 of the charges, but the evidence from the other charges that were thrown out
is allowed to be
considered.
Is allowed, yeah. In federal court, that's allowed to come in. If you're over there in the state court, a lot less so. But here, the judge is allowed to take that into consideration. The judge must take into consideration the deterrent effect that it will have on the general public, not just on Sean Combs, but on sending a message to society that you can't do this, and if you do this, you're going to get severely punished.
So if you are a part of the prosecution team, how do you view this? What's your response there?
Well, you're already devastated from the acquittals from a couple of months ago, right? Because they were shooting for the moon, and they got nowhere close to the moon. I mean, look, they took down an international icon. They took down an international celebrity. So that's a notch in their belt, if you want to look at it that way. I don't think that's the appropriate way to look at it, but I know that's how they look at it. But they were looking to put this guy in jail for life, and that didn't happen. They were looking to put Eric Adams, the mayor, in jail for life. That case got dismissed. So they've taken it on the chin a little bit, and this is all from the prior U.S. attorney. This is not the current U.S. attorney who's here now.
So what are we to make of this 4 years? Is there any possibility he could have that reduced? Anything that he could do in prison?
So it's interesting. Had the judge sentenced him much more severely to what, let's say, what the prosecutor wanted, like 11
years, 3 months.
I could see President Trump considering, like, that's just too much. But now, it's like the judge didn't really crush him. Those of us who practice in this courthouse, it's a tough place to be, man. This is a tough place to be. It's a tough place for a criminal defendant to get sentenced. And this cannot be, objectively speaking, this is not a harsh sentence from where it began. Again, the Department of Probation is supposed to be the objective arm of this, and they recommended 7 years. And the judge almost cut that in half. He cut it by a third. The defense has to be very proud of themselves and the job that they did securing this type of sentence. Of course, Sean Combs isn't happy. He wants to come on. He wants to be here right now doing it, being on Fox 5.
And speaking engagements lined up,
yes,
as soon as next week, even if they were community-centered or so. But we were hearing that, which some interpreted as a bit of arrogance, on his part.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt that had an influence on the judge, but apparently he was picked up on voice calls, because all your calls, unless it's to your lawyer, are recorded. And so they told the judge, we heard a call, and he thinks he's going to be out next week. Yeah, that's not the way to go. I wouldn't be too happy if my client would be out. Do you have mind?
But do you think that influenced things last moment, or was this already set in his mind?
I doubt it. I think this judge, he's a young judge. He's a new judge. He's also a judge who clerked on the Supreme Court of the United States of America. He has an excellent reputation, not just for his intellect, but his judicial temperament by both sides, which is really, as a judge, where you want to be. I think he's probably was prepared 10 times over, and I'm pretty sure that this is what he was thinking before he walked into the room.
My whole thing is this: 11 years is super excessive. Y'all got to consider that Diddy is already kind of old. You put bro in jail for 11 years, there's a chance that this guy could die in jail. Diddy got to be in his 50s, going on 60. Shoot, by the time he get out, bro, gonna be 70. He's done. He's already in the damn near the fourth quarter of his life. Even 4 years, right? Even 4 years is a lot, because I know someone who got convicted of child abuse and torture with malice on 2 young children, and it was a female, and all she got was probation for 7 years. But this is the world we live in. It ain't what you do, it's who you are. It's not consistent. All I can see is Diddy did some freaky stuff with a bunch of people who wanted to do it, either whether it was for money or whether it was like Cassie because she wanted his love and his approval. This is horrible. And I'm not discriminating anything by ethnicity. This is, to me, just gender. Because the woman who did it was black, who I'm talking about. There's a two-tier justice system in this country, and I don't even think it's based on racial lines. I think it's more along gender lines. If you're a woman and you do something, or a LGBTQ or transgender, you got one set of rules in sentencing. And if you're a man, you got a whole nother set of rules in sentencing. It shouldn't be that way. Everyone wants equality until it's time for these sentences to be handed out. I think Diddy got railroaded. I think this was a miscarriage of justice, because how you get away with the trafficking, but they still gonna try to get you with the prostitution? To me, that doesn't add up. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I could be wrong, whatever, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It just seems like he's rich, he's a man. Everyone came out pointing fingers trying to get a payday, and the justice system fell right in line with what we've been seeing, where if you're rich and you're male, your life can be destroyed off of a baseless accusation. It's like somebody going in robbing a bank with you. They split the money with you, go spend they cut, and then then when everybody get arrested, they're like, nah, he made me do it. So they get to walk off free, and you got to go sit in jail. I don't like this.